Hey guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today we are going to be flipping through this brand new Caregiver extension pack. So I'm really excited about this extension pack, just because I feel like this could be adaptable to a couple of different uses. And so let's go ahead and break it open and let me kind of show you what it looks like and then talk you through some of the ideas that I have for this. And I mean, I haven't even opened it out of the package. I have seen a couple of other people on YouTube flip through this extension pack, so this will be one of many flip throughs of this particular extension pack. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so I'm like making a mess here. So it is a 4-month extension pack. Oh, actually, no, it is a 4-month extension pack. There's a fifth divider here. So the first month says, with compassion, you can therefore be brave. That's actually really cute. I love that. And it has the monthly. That's the typical monthly undated layout that you will see with most extension packs. It is shaded here with the green. And then you flip it over. Now this side of it is very similar to the dashboard layout, so you know what that looks like with the Monday through Sunday on this right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, it's a little bit of a different format. So on the dashboard layout, you know that this side has like errands and calls, emails. It's just more of like a to-do list or task list setup. Here for the Caregiver extension pack, or this Caregiver layout, you'll have on this left-hand side a grocery list, and it says date, and then it is basically one long list of things that you can write down to go shop for. And then it has this week's activity. So there's a small section here where, in addition to this right-hand page, you'll also get a section for activities that you might have, and it includes date and time, location, activity, and there are 5 rows for you to include some things in terms of activities. Now, my thinking on it is that this is essentially for any caregiver activities that you might have. So here's where you might note your own personal schedule, and this is what you would use for the person that you're taking care of. And then there's a section on the bottom part that is this week's medication, and it lists the person's name, the form, and the dosage of the medication. And so that section is right here. And all the pages are like that as you flip through, so you'll see that they all look like that. And then in the back, the dashboard page, or the currently page, is a caregiver self check-in. I will show compassion towards myself on hard days by saying to myself and doing for myself, and then 3 positive things that happened this month, 1, 2, and 3. List 5 things you can do for yourself next month to help center your mind, and then there's a quote right here. So that's super cute. I think that's really awesome. The second month divider says, compassion brings us to a stop, and for a moment we rise above ourselves. Again, great quote, great message for a caregiver pack. And the shading here is pink, so I'm assuming some of the shading is pink, or at least, you know, like in those hues, right? But same kind of setup for the second month. And again, same check-in, different quote, different color, but same check-in that we have. Third month, some days there won't be a song in your heart, sing anyway. Oh, I love that. That's a great message. And here it's more of a gray, blue-gray color, right? And so again, the colors change a little bit, but it's the same layout for the third month. And here they go with green, which is kind of a different color to use when everything else has kind of been a gray color, but same layout, different quote, right? And then here is a longer quote. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around, right? And so yellow shading, and I'm assuming yellow in terms of the coloration for the weekly pages, right? And then the self check-in. Now, those are the 4 monthly, weekly spreads and monthly spreads that you will have with just any standard extension pack. And so then here you have a 5th divider. The simple act of caring is heroic, and it's not actually a monthly or weekly spread. So this is just an extra tab with some extra pages that we would use just in the caregiving process. So here's personal information with things like name, address, date of birth, phone number, emergency contacts, special medications, conditions and instructions, allergies, medical care, health insurance, other important information, likes and dislikes with a couple of different areas to fill out. And then here, personal contacts and medical appointments this month, with a section to note like the reason for the visit, and there's several pages of this one, right? And then prescription tracker. So this is just places for you, in addition to on the weekly pages where you would list the name, form, and dosage. You also have for, begin, end, the doctor or pharmacy, or doctor and pharmacy, and then some notes about the medication. And there are several sections, 3 sections related to that, plus pharmacy information, allergy information, and then that's repeated on this page, on multiple pages. Okay. And then here is a health log, right? So for here, it's date, time, vitals, and notes. And then here, important tests. So date, doctor, description, results. And then health goals for this month, fitness and exercise goals for this month. Insurance information like medical with your policy number, agent, phone, insurance company, underwriter, 24-hour claim, phone number. And so basically a bunch of insurance information. So there's one for medical, home, automobile, automobile number 2, life insurance, disability insurance, and then long-term care. And then this section is just a big quote. Flipping some more, this month's bills. So expense, name, account number, phone number, due, and then quarterly bills with the same column headings, and then a section for notes, and then banking information, which includes several different things that you're going to be listing for each of the bank accounts that you have. And then we're getting towards the end. Right here is this month's income, net worth, and expenses. So for Social Security, or like the person, you'd list their Social Security number with some income information in terms of like what income, net worth, and expenses were kind of, well, here's income, but then like what are some of the expenses that you total up for the entire month. And then here's a section for assets or net worth, right? So you're going to be listing that here. So that's there. This just continues on, and you have a section for liabilities, things like mortgage, second mortgage, reverse mortgage, so on and so forth. And then at the very end, there's a summary section that has total assets minus the liabilities, and then the net worth calculation that you would have. And then a larger section for notes, right? And then the back page is just a notes sheet. And then you get 2 pages of stickers. And so these are the dates that you would use to date the monthly spread, and a couple of stickers down there. And then these you would use for the monthly divider tabs. These tabs right here, you can use front and back for 4 of the months. And then you get these monthly, or these months right here, which you can use on the monthly spread or the weekly spread, whichever one works for you. And then a couple of stickers that are more geared towards medical issues. So that is the full extension pack, and I actually really like the extension pack, and really the only thing I like the extension pack. I really don't have much use for this, like the weekly spread, although I can use it. We don't have to track a ton of medication in my family, and so this section is pretty much not something that I can use. So it would be where I'd have to basically cover this up and do something different with this particular section every single week. This obviously I think is a great section. One of the things that I would say is if you're planning to use this or convert this into maybe something like a household planner or a household weekly guide for yourself, this could be used for things like kids activities, things that you might have on a more regular schedule, and so those things can be listed here, or you can use it over here and then list your personal things over here. So it could be something where you kind of flip-flop. But I do like having 2 sections here because it really is, for me, I like to be much more like in like these different compartments. And so if this side is for my personal and work stuff, like for me individually, then I can use this section for all the stuff that's happening for other family members. And so that section is very helpful. And obviously grocery lists is always something that's really important for us. And then this section is doesn't have a label or a header. Sometimes it says dinner or dinner plans or what's for dinner. And so because it's unlabeled, you can actually use this for something else completely. So I've seen a lot of folks use this for like exercise or a food log. So you can use it for a couple of different things. And so I think that's really helpful to keep it be something that you can kind of change up as you need to. And so honestly, though, I'm just not a huge fan of the dashboard layout. I find this to be a lot more helpful than the task list that we did have with previous versions, or like the actual dashboard layout. So having a running to-do list, that was nice. I just felt like really confined on this right-hand side. It just wasn't enough space for me. And so I just have never been able to get into the dashboard layout. And so I don't know that I'll keep this and use this except for this 5th tab. And I actually love this entire section. And I would use pretty much everything in this 5th tab. And so if nothing else, I'll just keep this 5th tab and just try to like resell the rest of it, the first 4 months of it, and just keep this section of it. And so really what I'm thinking of doing is I already have a home binder set up with like some of the stuff that we've already got. And like the plan for what I wanted to do with this was basically include everything that a person potentially would need to have in order to know what to do in case of emergency, in case someone ended up like being seriously injured or having an accident, or, you know, unfortunately dying, or just, you know, just having a game plan in place. So that way all the information that would be needed for things like bank account and medical history, stuff like that, would be easily referenced in this home binder. And so I'm going to flip through it. I won't be able to flip through all the sections just because some sections of it are filled out with personal information already. But here is just our household binder or our home binder. And it has a section here for about us. And in here, some of the things that I have included are things like clothing sizes, like a recent photo of our daughter who's 3. And so, you know, that photo gets updated every 6 months. So that way there's a current photo of what she looks like in case she gets kidnapped, right? It's kind of a negative thing to think about, but you know, you have to be prepared, I feel like, for certain things like that. All right. And let me, all right. A couple of other things that are in here, and I'm trying to flip through to see what else is in here without like showing off all the personal information that's in here. There's a section for like family information, which I have no idea what I was meaning with that. But one of the things you'll see is I can show you some of this because I didn't actually fill it out yet. But I went ahead and used some the notebook paper that came in this binder, in this Happy Notes, and I went ahead and printed the headings, and I pulled this just from Google. I ended up like Googling what should go into a home binder, and I printed out what I felt like were the most relevant headings for us. And so I have things, for example, right here, like family emergency information and checklist. And so what this was meant to be, which again, I mean, it's empty, you can see that. But the goal here was to set up like an emergency plan in case of fire, or if something happens at the house, what's the plan, what materials, what documents should we grab, where's the emergency bag that we have packed, so that way we can just kind of like be out the door as quickly as possible instead of trying to fumble around and find everything, right? So that's part of the emergency plan that we have in place. So in case there's a fire at the house, for example, we can know exactly where we're supposed to meet and what we should have with us when we leave the house. So that's there, right? Again, flipping through some of the rest of this, I actually have copies of like birth certificates, of any kind of vital documents like our marriage license, and things like that also in here. And I just made a copy of it and included in here in the back. And so again, obviously you're not going to see that since that's personal information. And then the second section here is medical information. And again, there's some personal stuff in there. I basically make copies of any doctor's appointments or medical appointments that we have and just include this in here. I really started with pregnancy, and so there's nothing that's like way old in terms of like, again, my toddler's 3 years old, so it's basically 3 years old or newer. But I basically put in here any documents related to health history. And so this medical section, I'm really excited because mostly I was just keeping track of medical records type stuff. And again, let me just try to see if I can find a page. There are a couple of pages here related to like family tree and family history. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's the wrong thing. So there are a couple of pages here with like vital statistics. What I'm thinking here is like for each family member having like their blood type, and just other statistics related to that. Like, I mean, I actually don't walk around remembering everyone's blood type. So those are the types of things that we have here. And let me see if I can find some other pages. So there are a couple of pages here with like family history. So family medical history is what this section is for. So a history of like maybe cancer or lung issues or heart disease, that kind of things, just kind of listed out as like a general list. And then here is a more specific medical record. And the plan is to have it for each family member to where there is just like a medical, like a general paragraph for each family member of like what their medical record should look like, right? And so this page and potentially this page, I'm planning to replace, because of this caregiver extension pack, some of the information, which I haven't done it, but some of the information that I feel like would be very helpful for that would be pages like this. I know it's in here since we flipped through it, but things like this health log, where you would basically just have a running list of what's going on. So now I might not necessarily replace what I have already in here, but I would just add these pages in, right? And this page, important test, for example, I feel like this is really important, and having this for each family member and putting it in there is going to be great. And there are 3 of us, my husband, I, and our daughter, and so I'll probably have to end up getting 3 of these packs, and then I'll end up with like 12 months of a caregiver, like the weekly pages that I just will not know what to do with. All right, so again, there are some like medical records or like just printouts of things that are in here, but this medical history, you can't even see that, but this medical history right here, this is what I actually meant with health log. And so these are things that are very much like transportable to what's going on in here. Now the rest of this, the home binder at least, are things that are not necessarily going to be something that I can replace with stuff from the caregiver packet. The extension pack. I have like a section for the car, so it's like auto insurance information, just like car records, maintenance records. When I take it to the dealership to get any kind of service, those are all copied and put in here, and I have a folder with a bunch of files that come from that. The home section, this home section is basically the household extension pack, and so I have a couple of printables that I did print out, and so that is in here, but also I just have like the pretty straightforward, chores, meal plans, budget, and projects that came from the household extension pack. And I actually need to get another one of these because I'm running low on sheets of that one. So that is in here. So basically, the section that this caregiver tab is going to replace is this medical section. And so being able to replace a good chunk of this with the caregiver information here is going to be very helpful. And so this will not be a section that I use, but I will use this. I actually like this, and it would go in the family section, the first tab, where I include things related to my toddler and like her likes and dislikes, favorite food, favorite activity. And then here is a good place to put a photo, an updated photo of her. So that's really good right there. This is also, in case you need it for a babysitter, this is really helpful to have for a babysitter. So that way they have some idea of what to do to take care of your kids while you're gone. And you can have a place for like just your phone number, or like if you use these 2 pages together, like you can just post it on the fridge like this, and have your emergency contacts in terms of your own cell phone number, or like someone close to you, a family member that could be your emergency contact while you're away for dinner or a movie or something like that. So this is really helpful, I think, for babysitting purposes for sure. But we don't necessarily, for us in our family, we don't necessarily do a lot of babysitting. So this page would just go into the home binder as a place to reference some of her common likes and dislikes for the time being. I do have a section in the home binder of personal contacts, so I probably wouldn't use this unless it was just to copy some of the sections, but those are all the sections that I would use, right? So these pages right here, medical appointments, and the prescription tracker, the medication tracker, these are all things that can go into the home binder, and I would basically just take all of this right here, important tests, right? And then it would end right there, because this other one is like health goals for the month, right? And so I would just take this section and plop it into the medical side of it and just fill it out just like that. In this fitness and exercise goals, I have a separate like fitness and wellness planner, so this would not be necessary in the home binder. My home binder is very much like a place for us to track things for the entire family, not my own personal medical issues, although that is included in there, but more so like broader, more umbrella type stuff that, you know, someone else might need to know, like what kind of issues did I encounter in my own medical appointments. It's not so much every single appointment I've been to, but like what are some of the issues that have come up that someone else, like my daughter, might need to know in the future. Okay, so because I'm not using this particular page, this page and this page could actually just be moved into its section. Like, so this insurance information, I have a separate section for car, so I wouldn't need this automobile section, but I might use it and just have like maybe this page in the front as a chance to, I mean, it's nice to have it in multiple places too. So I might just use that one page there. And here again, insurance information, right? And so the back of this is this month's bills. I have a separate budget planner, so I don't need this page at all. So this is actually working out really well in that I can just plop some of these pages in. In fact, I'll just do it now. Okay, so I got so caught up in like putting all the pages in that I didn't realize that the camera had just basically shut itself off. So let me just show you what I've got. So here for the very first section, the About Us section, what I included in here was basically the banking information, the insurance information that was included here. And I actually plan to, since I was looking at these pages off camera while the thing was turned off, I think that these pages right here would work well with this fifth tab where it has the personal information, likes and dislikes, and then like personal contacts, which I don't feel like I have a whole section for contacts, and so I don't know that I'll leave this here, but since they're printed like that, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it for the time being. In this page right here, medical appointments and fitness and exercise just will not be used, and I'll eventually take those together, so it just flips from the personal contacts to the insurance information, which works well together, I think, with just kind of maybe places where you might need to pull a phone number. And again, this page won't be used at all in terms of bills and quarterly bills. I have a separate budget planner that I've used that information, or like have that information in that part of my planner, right? And so the next section would be medical. And so here, the medical appointment section, I feel like this is just something that I wouldn't necessarily note in the home binder. It would just go into my planner. But it is here since I have it in, like, it's all kind of like printed all together. And so then the prescription tracker, which has a couple of pages, the medication tracker with its few pages, and then the section for the health log and the important tests. All right, and again, the back of it is just a separate section, and there's some personal information right after that, so I'm not going to flip to that. Right, and then the other section where I included some stuff was the budget section. Now here, again, this is from the household extension pack, but I did I used those pages. And so here I have the banking information part of it. And then I also have the income, net worth, expenses section. And then the back of this page is the notes pages. And again, there's some personal information right like immediately after this, so I'm not flipping to that page so you can see it. But those are the three sections that I did update with the pages from the Caregiver extension pack. And now the only thing that I have left that I didn't use was this were the actual like weekly pages, these pages right here. And so I don't know what I'll do with it. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the dashboard layout, but I think it will be something that I can figure out something to do with it. If nothing else, I can just donate it to a friend or try to resell it. And so that's what we've got here. And I'm glad I was able to update my home binder with some of this new stuff here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that the stuff that you saw with the Caregiver extension pack was really helpful to you. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so to my channel. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.